Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I got a really cool video today, and we're going to cover a few things that are going to be relating to stability throughout our motion in both the backswing and the follow-through, which I personally think helps us set up the dynamics of what we need to do to be able to control impact better. And always remember this. Anytime I think that we're making decisions to either make changes or work on bettering something in our golf swing, we need to design them around how impact, ball flight, contact, etc., how all of those are going to be getting better. And I think a lot of times when I'm teaching lessons here on a daily basis, I see a lot of players who struggle with what's happening here at the top, whether they're collapsing and their lead arm isn't staying straight, and we see the golf club going everywhere, and then vice versa. We go to a finish and we see the golf club going everywhere. I think, one, that's a sequence issue, and number two, I'd say it's a stability issue. I would love to be able to say that we as players and as coaches could find a way that we could make this easier for you to work on without thinking about every possible movement there is in an actual motion. So I'm going to run you through one of my favorite protocols. So this is something I've got by spending some time with the guys at Mach 3, and I've got one of their tools that I'm going to show you how we're going to use it to train some strength, some stability here on both sides of the arc, okay? So the first part of this concept is I think we need to design everything around where it is that we're trying to get to and what the purpose of our motion is, okay? I think we would all agree that impact is by far the most important, but I'd also say it's the hardest place for us to actually have awareness to with how fast the golf club is actually moving. So I like to call the finish the destination where we were actually going to get the golf club to start slowing down. So that gives us a goal, and that gives us a reference point that we're always trying to get the golf club to. So when we look at players who struggle with the finish, either A, the golf club gets there first, the hands get there second, the arms get there third, and then we usually see that followed by somebody who's just chasing it with their upper body, or even vice versa, hanging back on their trail foot. I think that's a lot of times that's what we end up seeing out of that type of player. So that would be a sequence issue. That'd be a sequence issue. Doesn't just mean that your arms are collapsing. It just means that that got there before our body did. So what we're going to show you how to do is design this around the finish, okay? So I'm going to give you a relationship or a reference point right here. Golf works on an arc model. It's a circular motion, but I'm going to give you a clock reference. Straight out in front of me, this is 12, 11, 10, target line is 9, this is 8, okay? So where we're trying to get everything to would be 8 o'clock. That's going to be our goal with this. Now we need it getting there in the proper sequence. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this training aid tool. It's called a speed bomber. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right here kind of in my core, okay? I'm going to extend my arms out to straight. I'm going to extend my arms out to straight. I'm going to move the center of my pelvis over my lead shoe. And what I'm going to do from here, keeping my head on center, is I'm going to move my body, my shoulders, my arms, and this object to 8 o'clock together. And you can see how I've created rise in this. So I've created rise via extension. Now that extension stems from having pressure forward first. We need to have pressure in this lead side to be able to get the spine into a tilt that allows us to propel ourselves into extension to create rise in the club in an efficient manner, I would say. So we're going to go right here, pressure forward, and I'm going to move this to 8 o'clock. So that's 8 o'clock. Now my awareness pieces that I'm using here is I can feel a lot of stuff in my core, my rib cage, and I can feel as well how my chest is more forward, which means that my shoulders are retracting back, so my chest is more forward versus it being concaved. This is what we don't want to see. This would be 8 o'clock, chest down, upper body in front of the lower body. That's not what we're looking for. So we're looking for weight forward, full extension to 8 o'clock. Now I'm going to do this, keeping this connected to me, and I'm going to make a backswing and a follow through. And I'm just going to rep this out 4 or 5 times. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my finish. Now from there, I'm going to lengthen that out with my arms. So this is my new goal for my destination. Now, this is where we would start to build our structure in our backswing now that we know where we're trying to get the golf club to. Here's how I would do it. So I'm going to go to 8 o'clock again, just like I did with this. Extend that out. 8 o'clock, and I'm going to rip it back, and I'm going to hold this for 2 seconds. So when I swing this object that has a lot more weight to it, and I rip it back faster, this is making me use more of my core, and the speed that this is moving is going to get me to start to feel and produce more width. And then our job is to stop it. That's the stability piece. Okay, so we're going to do that again. So I'm going to go to 8 o'clock right here, rip it back as fast as I can, and auditorially, I'm even trying to hear some sound of this thing whipping back in my backswing. Not saying that this is going to be our normal backswing pace. This is training stability, okay? So I'm right in here. 1, 2. I'm going to do that again. 1, 2. So now I've got a really good sensation of what's happening in my feet, my legs, my core, my shoulders, and the stability that I need in my arm structure to be able to control something as heavy as this object is. So that would be part 2. Part 3 is going to be destination, rip it back, and return to the destination. So I'm going to give that a go. I'll show you how we would do this. And again, you might not have this. I'll put a link inside of here if you guys are interested in looking at some of the products they have. I would highly recommend it. I think their stuff is phenomenal for training both speed and sequence and mobility. Okay, so we're going to go destination. We're going to rip it back and return to the destination as fast as we can, staying balanced. There would be my look. I'm going to do that again. That's basically what I'm looking to do. So now I'm starting to build an awareness around my stability, where my destination is, and how I can get this to move in the proper sequence to where everything is now more together versus stuff just moving everywhere. Now, when I grab the club, this is going to feel lighter, and we're not going to do it at that same pace, but we're going to try and reproduce the same stability that we felt in the feet, in the legs, throughout the backswing, while setting a destination goal. So I could start here, put this in my stomach, 8 o'clock, extend it, swing it back, and get back to that point. Okay, so if we put a ball there, we'll give it a go. So this is one option that you could do. I'm going to do this really slow so everybody can see it. So I'm going to go 8 o'clock, swing it back, return. And that would be how I would like to see that done. And I could feel that was very similar to what I did with the 8 I was using. Then our next step would be doing this in an actual motion. Okay, so before every shot, try and take this with you. rather than thinking about all that we need to do, feel where your destination is. The golf club here. The golf club here is still in front of my sternum. It is not far left of it. It's not out right of it. It's just as if I was right there. So I'm gonna go here, feel destination, reset, and get back to that point. And that right there was a really good shot. Let's do that again. So we're gonna go destination, backswing, return to the destination, and I'll do this one here a little bit quicker. One more feel, and I'll let it go. That was an absolutely perfect strike right there. So there's some ways that we can work on that to be able to sync up the body, the arms, the club. That's our sequence, as well as gaining some stability in the back swing and in the follow through. Kind of a cool way to run through it, a cool way to train and practice with that. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Leave those in the comments down below. I appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video here. If you haven't, please click that subscribe button. You can also click the bell right there, and that's going to notify you every time that I release a new YouTube video. Also, if you haven't, check out that last video that I did. It's right here, pinned to the screen. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave those below, and I will make sure I get back to each and every one of you. So, thank you again. Appreciate your support. We'll see you next time.